Africa is the world's second largest and second most populous continent. With 1.2 billion people as of 2016, it accounts for 16% of the world's human race. Although it has abundant natural resources, Africa remains the world's poorest and most undeveloped continent, the result of a variety of reasons that include corrupt governments, high levels of illiteracy and frequent tribal and military conflicts. Poverty, illiteracy, malnutrition, and inadequate water supply and sanitation, as well as poor health, affect a large proportion of the people who reside on the African continent. However, there are clear indications of increased networking stakeholders towards taking the continent's dream to the next level. It is with this view that all roads led to the prestigious Southern Sun Hotel in Sandton, South Africa, where the African Leadership Awards was held, an award ceremony where African leaders and achievers are honored for their outstanding achievements to the African continent. The award ceremony is organized by the African Leadership magazine, whose core mission is to promote innovation, entrepreneurship, and the development of Africa as a whole. It reports Africa from the African eye, which sees a continent of promise with some of the fastest growing economies in the world and a huge investment opportunities. It represents the never-before-seen parts of the continent going behind the headlines, reporting these headlines, hence the reason for the awards, which has held since 2011. This year's awards saw the likes of former President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, and the First Lady of South Africa, Bongi Ngema-Zuma, among others, being honored. It was an evening of glitz and glamour where discussions were held on the future development of Africa, where Africa has got it wrong, and what African leaders can do to get it right. It wasn't all about discussions. Guests were presented with a sumptuous dinner, after which awards were given to those who had contributed their quota to the development of Africa. Among whom were Mr. John Dramani Mahama, former President, Republic of Ghana. He received the award for African Political Leader of the Year. Mr. Mohamed Juji, African Leadership Magazine Person of the Year. Dr. Chris Kirby, Distinguished African Impact Leader of the Year. First Lady of South Africa, Bongi Ngema-Zuma, African Leadership Magazine Female Leader of the Year. Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, African Leadership Award for Leadership Excellence. Others were also honored, and they are Mr. Basant Roi, Governor, Bank of Mauritius, African Leadership Magazine Personality of the Year Award 2016, Finance. Honorable Soomilduth Sunil Bhola, Minister of Business, Enterprise and Cooperatives. He received the award for Business and Enterprise Division African Leadership Personality of the Year Award 2016, Business Promotion. Madam Afi Amoro, Distinguished Woman in Business Enterprise. Mrs. Abena Brigidi, Distinguished Woman in Business Excellence. Ms. Huli Sebeko, Distinguished Woman in Business Excellence. Before the awards were given out, a panel of discussants diagnosed the problems in Africa and the opportunities that abound and what can be done to make Africa even greater. Former President of Ghana, John Mahama, said that Africa has the right human resources, citing Ghana as having been able to halve the level of poverty.
Women have broken all the barriers. We produced a female president, Liberia, Senator Johnson, African president. In Ghana, we have the Chief Justice was a woman. I mean, just name them. Accountant General was a woman. Commissioner on Human Rights and Administration Justice was a woman. Director of Prisons was a woman. They've broken all the barriers. There's no other barrier to break. And so we understand that more constraints exist at the local level in terms of empowering women financially. If you go to Ghana, women are the backbone of the commerce, the whole commerce system in Ghana. They are the retailers, they are the majority of the wholesalers, but how they are able to raise financing to expand their businesses is one of the important issues that you raised. And I think that it's a challenge that is faced by the entire private sector. And that's why structural reform and macroeconomic stability is important. People ask, why do you go into an IMF program? Why do you do structural adjustment? You do structural adjustment because you want inflation to come down, you want interest rates to come down. Because all of us are engaged in deficit financing. And the larger the deficit, the higher the interest rates, the higher inflation. And there is no major enemy of the private sector in Africa than inflation and high interest rates. Because the cost of borrowing is unacceptable. I mean, what profit can you make if you borrow at 30% interest per annum? And that is why it is incumbent on leaders to stabilize the macroeconomic environment, to get out of the borrowing space and leave it to the private sector.
In her speech, the First Lady of South Africa, Bongi Ngema-Zuma, talked about what her foundation had been doing to eradicate diabetes in South Africa, emphasizing the importance of healthy living, eating healthy, safe sex, drinking and drug abuse.
We know that worldwide there are 450 million people that suffer from diabetes. Statistics have shown that out of the 14 million people in Africa region with diabetes, South Africa alone accounts for more than 3 million cases, with the figure projected to double by 2040. Our objective is to ensure that the South African people do not end up dying due to ignorance and lack of information about diabetes. As a foundation, we have seen measurable progress in this country in the level of awareness and attitude toward diabetes. By taking an initiative of attacking diabetes, I strongly felt it was a kind of leadership I had to show for the well-being of my fellow countrymen. I could have chosen another course, but owing to the suffering and subsequent departure of my own mother, Ms. Ngema, diabetes had to be on top of my list of charity priorities. The negative effects of diabetes, like many other diseases, can be felt on the economy of the country as employees stay off work for lengthy periods of time. Costs to the government in terms of hospitalization and disability grants eat into the fiscus, and this leads to severe reductions in the budget allocation to the essential services to the people. I believe Africa can win the progress race by focusing on its people, their human rights and empowerment. Africa must realize the power in the people, the buying power. We are over 1 billion people in Africa. Innovativeness, remember the robot was invented in Africa, and resilience, oppression by colonial masters, droughts, and women-led families are some of the examples that come to mind. Africa must harness this power, develop technical skills among youth and women, boost the potential of women to lead in politics, corporates, as well as other spheres of society. I urge all of us to fast-track Africa's progress. Although we cannot necessarily go to an extent of saying it is time for Africa first, we all know that we are far behind our former colonial masters in terms of socio-economic development. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, as yesterday was the National Healthy Lifestyle Day in South Africa, then we encourage you to live healthily and ensure that people in our countries adhere to all the elements of a healthy lifestyle, which are promotion of good nutrition, regular exercise or physical activity, tobacco usage control, intervention against alcohol and substance abuse, promotion of safe sexual behavior. The greatest wealth is health. Welcome to South Africa, and please enjoy your stay in our beautiful country.
The former governor of Kano State, Nigeria, Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, stated in his talk that the city of Kano is a center of commerce, and as a result, his administration made education a priority from the primary to the tertiary level, in turn providing employment to meet the demands for commercial viability. Not only has he been able to provide schools, he also made them conducive for learning.
Kano is the most popular state in Nigeria and a center of commerce. Our focus during our first term and second term was, of course, education. Our first priority, second and third, was also education. And that was why we looked at education right from primary to tertiary level. In the primary education, we were able to improve enrollment by providing 2 sets of uniform to every child that was being enrolled into our schools. And we introduced school feeding in all our primary schools for our first 4 years and of course in our second term. We looked at the infrastructure on the ground, especially the classrooms, offices, toilets, and all other facilities in our primary schools, and we were able to do a lot of improvements. And we also took the issue of training and retraining of our teachers very seriously. And I'm happy to say that after my first term in 2003, I lost the election to an opposition party. I accepted, not because there were no irregularities in the election, but because I believe I lost the election in 2003 because there was many sentiments on the ground, and I left the government, and after 8 years, the people of Kano were able to put the 8 years of opposition party on one side of the scale, and my 4 years, and I was re-elected in 2011, and welcome.
Kenyan philanthropist Dr. Chris Kirby, on the other hand, claimed that the politics of leadership is the main cause of the problems of Africa, stating that the continent had everything, from young, resourceful people to natural resources. Yet, Africa is wallowing in poverty. He is of the opinion that politicians should have a minimum of a 7-year, one-term tenure. We have to change the way Africa should be run.
The politics of leadership. I personally believe Africa, as it was said by former president, Africa has so much unexploited minerals, land for farming, young generations. We have more younger people than anywhere else in any other continent. We also have educated brains, but we continue to suffer in poverty. So I would say, when you say what you did and what you could have done, if we were truly to engage what any politician did versus the potential of what the politicians could have done, I think very few of them will get a pass. I also believe we should give politicians enough chance to hang themselves. I think we need to give any government minimum of 7 years, one term, no 2 terms, doesn't matter if you are an angel or not, because any human being after 7 years, you are very tired. And if you cannot go and do something else, then you are faking your leadership. I believe we got to change the way we run Africa. Africa must be run by politicians in partnership with private sector. I spent 6 years advising Ghanaian politics. And guys, we took that economy from one of the mediocre to the #1 African economy Ghana was. Do you remember? Because we were allowed as business people to intervene in a lot of things. We were very unpopular because we took ministers into task and the president just sat there and let them roast.
Finally, Mohamed Dewji from Tanzania spoke about the need for infrastructure for schools, saying that the brain capacity of children is stunted and that a time is coming in the near future where the world will depend on Africa.
6 out of 10 kids in Africa have to walk 6 to 10 kilometers to school. So if you were to just give them a mode of transport, their learning ability will increase by 23%. Big percentage, I think almost 60% of kids in Africa, in rural Africa, are stunted. And when we say stunted, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that you only physically cannot grow, but your brain capacity to observe education stagnates. And that is a principle. Now, if you were to create, like the governor said, porridge programs, nutritional programs in school, the learning capacity would increase by 43%. Do you intervene there? Do you intervene for toilets or water accessibility in primary school? Do you intervene in books, capacity building of teachers? Where do you intervene? So the question comes that we put on the hat of a businessman now. For every dollar that I spend, what maximum impact can I make? And I think governments also have got many priorities. You know, I, as a member of parliament, I have just a couple of 100,000 people in my constituency, and I was confused. The way I'm confused in doing philanthropy. So you pick one thing that you think can have the maximum effect. So per dollar spent, maximum effect. And I believe Africa, we all know that we have got fantastic land. Okay? We all know we've got huge problems of unemployment. We all know the future that the world is going to depend on Africa for food. So the markets are there. So we create employment, our people farm, agriculture. Then we do agro-processing and value addition. So employment is there. You have an export market, and I believe, not as simple as it is, but I think this is a big priority for Africa. Thank you.
A question and answer session then followed. Questions were asked on women's issues and women's empowerment, among others.
We believe that leadership does not exist. What exists are human beings. And some pretend to lead and claim credit for things they can't. We do 24 hours is too long. But we all have 24 hours. How
know the difference between bad and dead. Just a statement. And the second issue is that can we elect competence or capacity? A fool that votes today and the votes are counted, can that fool become smart and expect free information? That's why human beings. Election has nothing to do with capacity. But we assume elected people are leaders. And forget that they're just human beings like all of us. So how do we invest in a new paradigm which reduces human beings in just ordinary people?
My name is I am here for Bongi Ngema-Zuma. Mine is not really a question. Mine is, I'm trying to figure out what it is. But I think for me is, earlier today I attended a session with some amazing women who are running their own businesses, who are changing the narrative. And one of the things that we discussed in our discussion was access to finance for women businesses, women entrepreneurs.
After a night of brainstorming, networking and awards, it can safely be said that Africa is on the road to true progress.